entire team as well as the group, Peter?
Yes, go ahead.
Just right, Angie. Great. We can get started. Peter will record the session so that everyone will be able to know what is going on, and whoever does not have the time to make it 2 days can still be able to catch up. I'm sure he'll post it onto the group. So to start off with, firstly, thank you very much, Peter, for arranging this session. It is going to be of great benefit to so many people and hoteliers here in Kenya. To introduce, I'm sure everyone is already aware of Angela. She's the cluster HR manager of Diani Sea Resort as well as Diani Sea Lodge, two of the best performing hotels in terms of operations, occupancies here in Diani. Everyone knows it by name. So, Angela, you are our guest speaker today. We need a lot of enlightenment, passion to know how to go about it, especially in this day and age. In hospitality, personal brand is something that's very important to everyone. So, I would like from your expertise and your experience, how will you say a strong personal brand is for someone? Of course, it matters person to person, but what is your advice on how someone can enlighten their own personal brand?
Well, Steve, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for inviting me. Peter, it's been amazing, the conversation you've had, and just being part of this. This is the first webinar I've had for hoteliers in Kenya, and I'm really proud to be part of this, to be the first one introducing this. And personal branding is something that is dear to me. I really would want to be out there and tell people how can you build your brand, how can you really stand out from the rest, and that's really a passion for me. So of course, my name is Angela. I'm a HR by profession. I've been in this industry for the last about 12 years. For 9 years, I've been a HR manager, moving from one brand to another. I've worked with a Hilton brand, Double by Hilton in Nairobi. I've worked with the Best Western brand. I've worked with which is now 4 Points by Sheraton. I've also worked with Tune Hotel, which is now IB Style. So Accor, I've been there during the transition, rather during the conversion. So I have, in this work in the hospitality, in the hotels, I've worked with so many people. I've seen the mistake that some people make, and this makes them not to stand out. And that's why when I saw this and I was like, this is where I'm needed. I really felt like I should be here. I should be able to speak out and let people know that there are some common mistakes that people make that really cost them the job. Even just not just the job, even the being called for an interview, because I look at the CV should be able to speak for you, but some people don't know that. An example, even just today, I was interviewing someone, a pool attendant, and he could not remember where he was in June 2019, yet he's presented it to the papers. He's like, I was at this particular place doing this. So for some reason I was interested there because it was a pool attendant training that he had done. So when we kept on asking him, like, what exactly happened during this period of time, he didn't know. He was completely unaware of what really happened. And yet, you see, that is his CV, and a CV should be able to speak on your behalf because your CV goes ahead of you. A CV goes there to like, when the HR manager or the recruiter, they first look at the CV and they can be able to tell, I want to see this person or I don't want to see this person, or put them into the pile. That there are several piles. The piles of later, or pile for vertical filing. And and see, that is where the personal branding starts. Starts from the CV. Yeah. So you've to answer your question, like, where exactly that the personal branding starts from, it starts from the CV that speaks on your behalf. Let the CV be able to speak who you are. Let the CV be able to tell who you are, and be you and the CV be one person. Don't let the CV speak a language that you are not aware. So that is a common mistake people make. They have a CV there. The CV probably was made in a cyber. They do not relate. The person does not relate to the CV at all. Yeah.
That's a good point you brought up. I think what's happening right now is we have you receiving CVs whereby one CV fits all. They either get a third party to make the CV, and that's what they distribute to all the hotels and HR people. And in terms of that, how would you advise? How can someone differentiate themselves from other candidates in terms of applying for a job?
One of the main things I always say is be yourself. We've seen people say be yourself, but be yourself even in what you're writing and connect with what you're writing. Once being yourself, it even shows that you are part of that. You're not. It's not like somebody made this for you. And once you're yourself, you're able to explain you're able to explain your life history, your gap, and you are different. You're not repeating what somebody has told you. You're not repeating what you've heard somewhere. You are being yourself. You're being authentic. So one of the key brand for a person, it's be yourself. I've seen being authentic. I've seen a lot of interviews. People say you are just hiring for personality, or rather, how this person is. It's just how you are is being yourself. Sometimes it's not about where you got your degree, your diploma, your certificate. It's how authentic you are. So as you're building your personal brand, that is one of the things that I always say or always see for myself, just being yourself. So to answer that, Steve, I think being yourself is one of the things that should stand out. Whether someone is applying for a cook position, whether someone is applying for a waiter or a barman, just being themselves and being authentic makes them stand out from the rest.
Thank you very much for that answer. And to dive in a little bit deep, we're living in a day and age of social media where whatever you post, be it LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, this is being viewed by every single person. Do you think, from an HR perspective or company perspective, this can actually affect someone from applying for a job, their reputation, or actually getting their foot through the door? From what they post on social media or how they actually portray themselves on social media.
Definitely, definitely. One of the things that people don't know about social media is the internet does not forget. So most of the time, what I always tell people, be professional when posting anything online. I see, which is very good. The people I relate, sometimes I tell them, I see that the cooks posting their work, their food, their decorations, the culinary arts. I've seen the barman doing all that. But one of the thing is, once you go to social media and you start bullying people, you start doing posting things that are not respectful, that will really, it comes back to you. So I can say one of the social media, we shouldn't just use it we should use it wisely and correctly to build ourselves, to also be respectful with the people we're interacting with. Yeah. So a lot of times when people are bullying people, don't participate on it. If you want to build a brand that is standing out, do not participate in. We've seen people losing jobs. We've seen people being shortlisted up to the high level, and then now there's a tweet they tweeted long time ago that now surfaces up. We've seen even that in public office, especially when people in the government posts. We are able to see what they posted. So the same trickle down to even entry level position. When you're out there, be respectful. Whatever you're posting, be it something that you can be able to stand by it and say, yes, I posted this because of this and this. And it's always important, if you're out there, one of the things, even if you're upcoming, share those insights, share something, share a tip that can be used by someone. If you have to use social media, because I know all of us, or that the Gen Z coming in, they really have, every day someone has to post something. I have a friend of mine, and she always say, "Oh, I have forgotten to post something on LinkedIn." She has to post, and I always like what she's posting. And you see how she's already out there. But I'm talking now to those entry level people or those young people. If you have to post something, be very respectful of what you're posting. If it's about, there's so much happening. There's the death, like the other time, the super highway, or rather the bypass, that there was a horrible accident. Don't go on sharing those, because there are people affected, there are family people, people are out there, and you see you're there posting, you don't know them, you're just sharing because you have to share, or rather you are trying to put a point. Also be be very intentional of what you want to post, or what you want to spread, whatever news you want to spread out there. Be very intentional, be very intentional with your social media handle, whether it is TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or X. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still at Twitter. Yeah, I need to move off very fast. Yeah, whatever it is, yeah, just be very respectful. Yes, so I'll put it out there for someone who's building a brand. You don't just post because you have to post. You really, and you see, you want employers to see what you're doing, potential employers. Yeah.
And would you say right now, if someone is to apply for a job, be it an executive management or one of the level entry jobs, employers are now going and searching them on Google or social medias to see what they are posting?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yes, that is shockingly happening right now. Yeah. We want to see, for if for entry level, me as HR want to see this person I'm bringing, what kind of person are they? Will they fit in my culture? Will they bring an aggressive culture? What are they? How is their life outside there? I want to know. And if it's also an executive level, I mean, the owners, the board want to know this person you're bringing on board as a GM or as an executive chef or as whoever is coming in, will they be able to gel in with the team? Will they be able to carry the company, the company vision? Are they aligned to it? So yes, definitely that is happening.
All right, thank you very much. The Hoteliers group that is on Facebook has quite a large group. I think more members that I've seen in other, job groups. A little bit over 52,000 people. Most of the comments that are posted there from adverts are chefs. All types of levels, from executives, CDPs, commis chefs. They are not able to get their resume through the door. They're not able to even get an interview. And now it's becoming very common. Then, unfortunately, many people are either becoming negative or are giving up. What type of tips will you give to these chefs for the CV to actually be able to go through or land on the desk of the hiring manager?
Okay, that observation is quite on point. I remember just the other time, about a month, about 3 weeks ago, I had a post for a sous chef, and I talked to Peter, and I was like, Kibe, please help me out. I really need a proper sous chef. I'm not getting the CVs that I really need. And he posted in the hotelier group on Facebook. And wow, the CVs, there are those CVs you are really looking forward to read, and those ones that you're like, wow. There are those ones that are like, yes, it's job seeking, but at the same time, really someone that did not even do an effort. You see, like a sous chef, or it's a management position, and some people don't know that, so they don't put that much effort in it. They just assume that it's just, it's a number two to the chef. But at the same time, this is a serious position. It's someone who is, because most of the time the chef is doing a lot of admin work or office work, ordering, food costing, doing all that. So the sous chef actually at the end of the day is the one running the kitchen. But we've seen that a lot of what's happening, especially with the chefs, they are good with sometimes the practical, but what is reflected on the paper is not related. And one of the mistake I've seen is one of the common mistake I've seen is now the spelling mistake. I remember there's someone who wrote career objectives with just that was the spelling was wrong. You can tell the person didn't take time to really go through the CV and want to connect with it. And then uh, most of the chefs, they have their photos of what they're doing there written there, which is okay, which is good. But then one funny thing, not just me, it happened to me and another HR. She was telling me about, I remember she was telling me, how can someone just tell me, I thought the interview was on Zoom. This is a chef. Chefs, we always do practicals. So sometimes you're calling someone, you've given them ample time. You've told them the interview is next week, the day you've given even them the pin, you've shared the pin location, everything that the person needs to know. And then come the day of the interview, you're calling the person is like, I'm already here online. I'm waiting for you to share the link. You know, you are left wondering, really, This is a chef. Chefs should be able to come out there and be able to showcase their work in practicals. And one of the things, a lot of mistakes I've seen, or rather a lot of expectations, it's that most of them expect you to interview them first, like, of course you've interviewed them over the phone, but at that time, since you're having an informal conversation, someone does not know that's already an interview ongoing. So someone just assume it was just you trying to figure out when they're available, and they'll tell you, I'm available on Tuesday next week. Some will say that's the day I'm off. So, and then you plan knowingly very well that this person will come, and even tell them that this is a physical. Rather, sometimes they don't ask, and both of you, you know, HR knows this is a practical interview as a chef, but the chef is here, does not ask more questions. So I can say most of what has happened is, I think the expectations are not being met on both sides. The chef expects the interviews to be online. The employer expect them to do a practical interview. And one of the things they cry a lot is, sometimes there's a certain cuisine set for a certain, sometimes when you're interviewing the with the property, depending with the property. So some would say, oh, I'm very good with continental, Chinese, Indian, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for something different. So I'd say for now, for in terms of the expectations from both sides not being met. I've also seen that the lack of, what how we call them, the soft skill. Yeah, we know chefs, a lot of them, they're loud. They are yeah, they're a little bit, I can't say they're rough, but I can say something like they're
Outspoken.
not. Yes, yes. And sometimes they're just like that on the phone, and they're just like that, and you're thinking, Brana, and we are moving on. We are having the Gen Z joining. If you scream at them in the kitchen, they will leave. They will leave and go. So we are no longer screaming. We're not doing gentle parenting, or rather gentle colleague, whatever. But at the same time, we expect the chef, to say, "Hey, sisi ni my chef. This is how we speak. You are supposed to know that." No, we are evolving. We are moving with time. So a lot of chefs, they
Correct.
miss out on that because of, I can't say rude. I just say they are a little bit arrogant, or they're soft skilled. They are not. The soft skill are not, so they are not upstanding. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms, still sticking on the chefs, because there was a lot of that going on in the group and inquiries as well. In terms of chefs actually fitting the CV, or tailor making the CV to a certain property or a certain position, they cannot just send a CV like a general manager or a supervisor, for example, because their work is very operational. So the question is, how important is it for properties to be able to see the portfolio of a chef, or how important is it for a chef to showcase their portfolio in writing, be it pictures or videos, whether they have an Instagram page or a TikTok page? In this day and age, social media is key for the employer to actually see what are they good at, what are their skills. Do you think that is something that's very relevant, or they can just be able to send something black and white and then do the practical interviews?
um with time, I think that is very relevant, especially because that is where now the hard skills are coming in. And that's where, if you look at the brand hotels, we are talking of Accor, Hilton, we are talking of Hyatt. Such brand hotels, they have an ATS system that really sift through. So if someone is applying, especially to those international brands, and you don't have those words standing out, for a chef, we have those outstanding words, like they have to stand out, the hard skills now, because you cannot showcase them unless we, first of all, the CV has to speak. And for the CV to speak, those words have to be picked up by the tracking system. And that those words, like for a chef, could be like hosting, could be like, the hazard, those words that are related to their job. Of course, the soft skill words coming in as customer service and teamwork and all that. But then what else are you doing? So I believe those words should be able to stand out from a CV, should be able to be tracked. And that's where they move to now to the next level. Once you have the hard skill being picked up with the tracking system, it is easier. Apart from that, a link. Yeah, it's even also important, especially now that I think for us, if it's a position here locally, and you are, let's say for us being Diani and I'm interviewing someone in Nairobi, of course first they will send me the link. I've seen that and I see what they're doing. I see some even have a YouTube. Once I see a YouTube link, I'm able to know, am I able to, should I see this person? I now gain that, that interest. And one thing, it is important for the chef to put that, because if you're not available for the practical interview, but the link is there, what you're doing, I can see you doing your chefing, your whatever thing you're doing, I can see you live, and you attach it on the CV and you're able to view it. You'll be like, do we really want to see this person? Yes. And that is one of the things that I would want the chefs now to work towards, because the way I mentioned earlier, chefs interview is very, is a little bit different, because we want to see you, we want to see what you work on, we want to see how we can, how to taste your meal. Yes, we can see you doing your thing, but then the next step will be, would want to taste your meal. And that's why you see a lot of even the international brand, once you send the link, they are able now to pick it up and see if they are able to see you in the next interview. And it happens a lot. Even the barmen and the baristas, they always have those coffee things they've made. They always have a link to attach to it. So I would want the chef to move a step forward. I love like the baristas, they are very quick. They adapt very fast. They are moving faster. And that's why maybe the chef should be able to now start moving towards. The chef are really left behind. They have some good work, they are doing their plating, but they're not able now to move with that to showcase it to the next level. So I think it's important for them to attach the link. Yes.
All right. So what I'm understanding from you, it can be a deal breaker. Whether
Yes.
you're a mixologist, a barista, or a chef, you need to showcase your portfolio, whether it's videos or pictures, so the potential employer can be able to see and visualize what you can do, and that will
Yes.
probably give you a better chance through the door. Correct.
Correct.
Okay, great. And for the rest of other hoteliers, whatever position it is, what tips or how can they use their networks to be able to get opportunities? There's a lot of comments going on, and unfortunately, it's true. Uh, we, unfortunately, in this life, some other jobs, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Hmm.
So it is important to know your work, definitely, and to know the hiring team as well. How will you advise people to seek out such networks and opportunities?
Yes, I like how you say that it's who you know, definitely. Because hospitality is quite sensitive, or rather hoteliers is quite sensitive, because you interacting with the guests, with the customers there and there. And as hiring managers, we don't want to bring someone who has had a scandal where they're coming from. And a lot of time we'll do that. We'll ask, I'll call my colleague, let's say I'm calling who Tana, and I'm like, Tana, I am looking for a swimming pool attendant. Do you know anyone? And then they say, oh, I have this great guy, he just left because he had family issues, but he's a great guy. And that's the person I'll call for an interview. And you see, one of the things people don't know is, how do you get this network? One of the major things is attend events. Yeah, attend events, attend product launch, attend trade shows, anything. Like 2 weeks ago, there was a hospitality event, especially it was for chefs, organized by Impact Chefs. It was at a Rich Center, and there were so many people there. And I got to meet people like upcoming people, young people, Gen Z, older people, people in the middle. And you see, if right now I have a position, I'll think of them first. I'll think of them because we exchange numbers. I had a great pastry chef that I met. I just wish I had a position for him, but he was amazing. And I had someone I met in laundry. Like, I met all these people, and people should be able to attend these events. They should not just make noise on Facebook. I see the group for hoteliers. People just make noise, but when there's an event, they don't attend. The event is free, they don't attend. It is you as a person to be proactive, to make it. your mission to attend such an event. There are so many events KICC right now. I don't know if you've seen this. Wanderlust had an event. It's still, I mean, they're advertising for it, and the first 50 people, it's free. No one, and there's a link for people to join, for people to just, and it's organized at the Museum of Kenya. I am sure, Steve, have you seen that? Did you see that?
On the Wanderlust Diaries Facebook page, yes.
Mhm.
Yes, Wakove Kuala, I think I follow her, yes.
Yes. And there's this, it's an amazing event, and you never know who you'll meet there. But they're not. People want the jobs to come to them, but they don't want to do the works. You go out there, join those hospitality groups or other organizations. I know there's TPU, the tourism profession. I don't know. There's so many events. There's, I mean, organization. There's something for chefs. There's something for the housekeepers. I don't know. There's all this. Now that they've joined, let's say, let's give all these people, let's give them a chance and say, good, you have joined now the Hoteliers in Kenya group. That is amazing. We are all here, amazing talent. Everybody's here. Let's now see, how can we move from here? How can this group help me? It should not be you're just there, a job is posted, someone is saying, following. What are you following? Instructions are there. The good thing about joining that group is part of you to be seeing that and following up on that instruction. If there's a job posted, you don't just say me too raising your hands. You just say there's a job, or I'm looking for a sales account manager, what, blah blah blah, and you're there saying, yeah, I'd follow. Word. So those are some of the groups we need to join. And even just, I don't know how many professional or other hoteliers are on LinkedIn. Today posted purposely. I was supposed to tag so many people, but I didn't tag. I just wanted to see how many people will be able to see it. I have so many friends on LinkedIn who are hoteliers, and I know they're there. Like, they would be great or happy to join this and spread the word. But you see, the good thing, they're already there. There are those who are making a lot of noise, but they're not there. They're just saying the job. People know each other. It is because people are already placed there. They are networking. Them, they're not networking. They're just seated somewhere waiting. And then another thing which happened, I'm glad it happened today. There's this alumni for my side, Diane. I have, here at Diane's C, we have an apprentice program that has been running since 2014. So today I was going through my database and I wanted to find out what's happening to all those apprentices who graduated. Where are they now? And I realized we don't have an alumni group. So I created one on WhatsApp. And one of the things I've realized, this is a good group where people can start getting jobs. And even you in school, you as a person who's just graduated from whatever MKU, from Utali, from whatever place you've been, have you joined your alumni group? That is where also the network is. That is where people know each other come from. So don't say people know each other, because someone is able to speak about your character. Yeah, get in touch with those, go join those alumni, even if it's where you worked before. They form a group, probably just to keep in touch. I remember where I've worked in Java before. There is a Java group. It's very active, it's very vocal out there. People are keeping in touch, people are able to post jobs there for each other. People are able to speak on people's behalf, say, yes, I worked with such and such a person and they're very good. So remember that if you leave a place, don't feel like don't have a sour, don't live in a sour nene. Go back, meet up with former colleagues. Those are the people who will be able to help you get a job. So it's part of the networking as well. Yeah. So I'd
Great. Thank you
say,
very much for that in-depth answer, Angela. There is something you had mentioned a couple of minutes earlier, which I just want to touch on, which is definitely very important for hoteliers. Many, general managers, HR managers, you advertise a position, you get 300, 500 CVs. It's not humanly possible to respond to every single CV. It's just not possible. Yes, there are also those comments that HRs should be able to respond, even if it's a rejection email, which from a humanity point of view, yes, it should be. Practicality point of view, is it really possible to spend 72 hours just replying to emails? Not really. What you had brought up, Angie, is ATS, the tracking system. Now, so many corporations, even now, small restaurants, are using ATS to be able to filter out CVs. Many people are not tailor making their CVs. Could you briefly explain how ATS tracking system works in brief and what the advantage is to tailor make your CV towards that?
Okay, so the ATS is it's called application tracking system, and what it does, it aligns your CV with the job adverts. So a lot of keywords needs to stand out. So I look for for a position like, let's say, a waiter. Of course, you're looking at customer service, we are looking at problem solving, you're looking at, all those things that will make you stand out, rather pick up. So the system pick up those words and you're able well placed because it aligns with the JD. So what I'm trying also to say is, once you get the if you want to apply for a certain job, look at it, look at your CV, and pick up those words. Work. That's why you need to have all the time. Always have an updated CV, or rather a clean CV that matches the job. Once you have that CV, once your CV is here, you are looking at the job advert, you're able to pick up those words that have been mentioned. And those words are the ones that the system will be able to pick. Because once you send it, you you it's a system based. So the system will be able to pick up those keywords. Let's say I'll speak about HR. So HR, we look at recruitment, you're talking of uh, all the compensation, benefits, welfare, employee policies. So those words, once they come out, those are the words that are standing out, and that's what the system will pick, and that's why you're able to move to the next level. For now, like the chef, we're looking at those cuisine. You are able to mention the different cuisine, the Mediterranean, the sauces. I don't know, you just say something that will make it stand out, matching the job description. If it's cost control, how do you do cost control, how do you, and there are so many. I would advise people to just Google ATS CVs, and they're able to, you can download your CV. Once you download your CV, it gives you a percentage of, it can tell you are 80%, you are 60% for a job of a waiter, you are, 75% for a job of what, of a driver. Yeah, so the system is key, and it's good when you are looking, especially for us who want to join. A lot of people want to join now the cruise. We want to see, are you meeting the standards. So ATS, it will pick on the soft skill and the hard skill, what I talked about. So the soft skill I did mention earlier is this: customers having teamwork, problem solving, working under pressure, the usual things. But now the hard skill will come now, that will define that role. It's related to the role that you have applied. Yes.
So basically, in summary, we know most career portals are using the ATS. So in summary, if your CV or resume is not tailor-made and it's not ATS compliance, the interview is a no-go, because this is basically a system that chooses who goes through for the interview, minimizes from whether it's 500 or 200 CVs to only the top 10 or top 5, and only those people will be chosen from then on, correct?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Then later on, perhaps after the group, you can post a small summary how people can actually be able to have their CV ATS compliance. That will really
Yes.
benefit everyone. Uh,
Yes.
and just moving on from there as well, Angie, some of the questions and inquiries that we received is salary negotiation. Yes, you have your personal brand out there. How do you actually negotiate your salary? Do you base it on the market? Do you base it on your actual experience? And job, for example, will be advertised for a general manager for a certain hotel or a supervisor. Of course, many people will apply. Others have international experience, others local experiences. It's all different and various experiences all coming into one. Not all of them can be paid the same. So how will you advise individuals to actually be able to market themselves?
Okay, so for salary negotiation, it's normally, I remember, I always like asking that question and everybody just get uncomfortable. One of the thing is, how do you stand out? Once you stand out, how are you able to match up? Like, let's say you where you are before, how much you're being paid, and you're able to also check on the market, what's happening for that role in the market, how much is this role attracting? And then one of the other thing is what you're bringing on board. You can say, like, most of the time we don't have that value proposition, we forget, we just go like ships, all of us together, stand out and have that value proposition. I would want to be paid this amount because of this and this and this. Of course, from the experience you're bringing, from the targets you've been able to reach out and and produce the targets. So you need to negotiate in those terms, like the value proposition, because unfortunately most of the time in hospitality hotels, they are unionizable. So we are going as per the union standards. So you have that negotiation, that you have the CBA with Kudeya. So it becomes a little bit, it limits for those who are members of the union, because that it's already there. If you're coming on level, on grade 5, it's grade 5, grade 6 is, and there is no in between. It's already there. There's nothing, and you can't go higher, because now you will affect the grade. So it becomes, if it's this position, it's this position. But if someone who is or rather a hotel that does not have a union, and the salary can be negotiated, you just look at the value proposition. What else are you bringing on the table? What else
Okay.
are you able to do different? Yeah.
Correct. So to focus on someone's value and propose that
Mm-hmm.
to the management. I
Mm-hmm.
want to touch on something very, very sensitive, but it's something that's happening all over hotels, not just in Kenya, all over the world. Unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to say it. Other people look at it in a very negative way, which it does have a lot of negative effects, not only on the individual, but also on the business. And this is relationships at work. How does that affect someone's personal brand? So this is whether it's a manager or a supervisor, whatever position it is, and this gent already now gets involved emotionally with a colleague from work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's always, especially in hospitality, it's always there. And we that's why we have policies in place. But still, human beings are human beings. A lot of family, I mean, people, couples, they build their family at the workplace, they were found there. And one of the other thing I'll just say, like, for example, when I was in Java, there's something we used to say, Java love, like Java one love. Most people just got married there. Like, so it's something that we need to talk about. Rather, it's out there. And one of the things, that point, is the policies. How are they? Are they well communicated? Are they well? Are they going as per the Employment Act? Because something like sexual harassment, it's illegal. Is one of the reasons for summary dismissal, and the Employment Act is really there to safeguard those who are victims. So it's a whole process. The policy is written clearly, and once people come and out and say, we are being sexual harassed for favors or something because of this, the whole procedure now has to start. That is a whole different procedure of investigation, and it has a process of its own. But I can say, once you are tainted, it might come out like, oh, it was just, there was no enough evidence. But one of the things you will leave behind, it will taint on your personal brand. Because I might call my HR and I'm like, I'm about to interview someone called Eric. What does it say? Eric is fine, he's actually good at his job. One time we had an incident where someone said they were sexual harassed, but we never found evidence, you see. So, and then see, that's already a question mark. It's already tainted you. So
Correct.
it will affect your future growth, or rather, it it might or might not have happened. But in Swahili, there's a saying that goes, penye kuna moshi, there's a fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So even though there was never other conclusion over the investigation, that's still thing, and people will still speak. Not just there, people who have really interacted with the said person might say, I used to work at Pride Inn. Sorry for Pride Inn. It's just an example. I used to work for Pride Inn, and
Yeah.
then this and this happened, and and they will just say it in passing, but still. it has affected your brand there and there. So I will just speak to all hoteliers right now. Let's respect our jobs. Let's keep off sexual harassment. Let's make it our point to just stick to the job description and the company policy. All the other matters should not be this should not even happen at workplace, because it affects your brand, whether it's happening at workplace, even if it's at home, or whether it's happening outside the workplace, it affects your brand. So I've seen a lot of hospitality people making a lot of noise, but you see, a brand does not end at workplace. The brand goes with you wherever you go, and it affects
Correct.
you. Yeah, whether it's here, whether it's social media, whether it's outside the country, it is you. And people cannot change who you are, because that is who you are, unless you yourself want to really change yourself and say, I am tired of being like this. I want to change and be more productive person. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've spoken about tailor making CV, be able to get your foot through the door. And now, once the person is actually hired, there's often cases where you find a very determined, motivated individual. And for whatever reason, 2 3 months down the line, they are not the same person. uh, what advice or tips will you give? How can they still maintain their personal brand to be the same determined, motivated, energetic person that was actually hired for that job?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. It's so true. Like, some of the time you see that once you enter the job market, it can really be tiring. Like, it can get on you, because the good thing about hospitality is not like same old, same old. You're not going just to sit there. Every time there's a different client, there's a different need, there's a different people you're dealing with, and it can weigh someone down. But still, you want to stay ahead of the curve. You want to stand out. And one of the things people forget, so I would say to someone, stay ahead. Don't let the usual same old happen to you. To build your brand, you can even enroll. Now that we have so many courses online, you have Allison, and you can do your courses for free. Get that time, especially the shifts, when once the shift ends and you are home, or you are somewhere. For those in Nairobi, I know people stay in traffic for over 2 hours. Put in your headphones, listen to some Allison, go to the next page, learn something, do a chapter, two chapters. So I can say for that, like, stay ahead, continue developing yourself, you know be focused. Don't, because it can be the mental stress of hospitality employees is so much, because of the hours, because of the times. you know right now, people are looking forward to an exciting day next week, on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? And other people, hoteliers, we are stressed. We are thinking, oh my god, we are fully booked, there's this event happening, there's so much happening, I don't know how to do this. So at that time, you have to maintain your calm for you to deliver. So I'll say, for us, for hoteliers, before, or rather, to avoid that catching up with you, stay read ahead, stay ahead, find out what's happening, develop yourself, build up your mental capacity, because once it's build it up, like, feed it.
Once it explodes, there's no going back.
Yeah, it should too. Yeah.
No, I think that is quite important. Also, someone's attitude and character, how you handle yourself, as you mentioned, at work. Yes, hospitality and hoteliers, everyone knows it's a high-pressured environment, uh, and for it being high-pressured, us as individuals, from what I take from what you're trying to say, is we need to try and remain calm, watch our attitude and character and how we handle things, because it can't follow us whether it's a couple of weeks or months down the line from then on.
Yeah.
For the rest of the hoteliers listening to us, if you do have any questions, you can wave. We're using Google Meet. There is a button right down there next to the share screen, or you can as well tap your message, and Angie can answer any of the questions that you do have. Uh, Before they get to that, Angie, I don't have any more questions for you. Are you able just to summarize the importance of personal branding, especially touching on social media, which is, I professionally and personal think it's extremely important. I've seen scary comments all over, be it Facebook or LinkedIn or X, of professional people whether it's bullying or insulting each other. And for some of the properties that I'm building for an investor here in Kenya, we do have the same people applying for the jobs. And of course, the management over here will vet them out. And as soon as they see these comments, as much as they are incredible individuals, such smart individuals, are able to do their work, qualified, experienced, the CV does not move a step ahead because of such a tiny mistake. If you can just summarize what we've spoken about for a couple of people and hoteliers who joined us a bit late before we finish off the session.
Okay, great. So one thing I want to say is be as a person, make it be let it be your personal I'm looking for a word. I'm looking for a word that really describe who you want or what you want. Be authentic, be ready, be yourself and be oh gosh.
It's okay.
Brain
It's a
fart.
Friday. Your excuse. Friday, it's a long day. Weekend is still work.
Oh my god! We speak about this word, me and my co-founder Dorcas, a lot with that word, and the word has just yeah disappeared in my mind. Oh my god, Dorcas, help me! But one thing I know is it's you have to make it a personal decision to change who you are. You have to make a personal decision to change your brand and align yourself to what you really want to see, because a lot of time we just make noise, yet we are our worst enemies. Yeah, so I would summarize it by saying be very careful on what you're posting on social media. Be very be very selective on who you're interacting with. Be very protective of your brand as a person, because you don't want to just interact with any other person. You don't want to be tagged with something. I've seen people being tagged with in pornographic. Someone just posts and tags everybody, and you're part of that. You don't want to be part of that. So be be very selective. Stand out from the crowd. Get to know your CV, get to interact with your CV yourself, go through it step by step. You did this CV, you can see from this year to this year, from this year, you know yourself. Be able to understand this CV is speaking on your behalf. And at the same time, be able to stand firm and comment on what you're standing, what are your values as a person, and those values, are they aligned with the value of the organization that you are applying at. In some a lot of time, because our brands might collide, our brands might not really be your brand might not be what you are being interviewed for, or rather maybe you interviewed for a position you didn't know. As a chef, if you are being example you're being interviewed to work. Chef can work anywhere, can work in a hospital, can work in a bar, can work somewhere, and then you realize, my values are not aligning. Be able to stand up and say, this one are not going as per what I expect, as per my brand. Protect your brand, be very selfish of your brand, and be able to put it out there and let people know who you are. So I'll talk about even posting on social media. Whatever you're posting, don't just post because people are posting. You don't have to post anything the whole day. We have all these other. We have X, we have TikTok, Instagram, we have Facebook. Yeah, you have your status to post. People say my status, my choice, but of course it's good to post whatever you're posting. But are you able to stand with what you're posting and say, yes, I posted this because I meant this, or whatever, this is what I meant? Because you don't know who your potential employers are out there viewing you, seeing your life. Yes.
Thank you very much, Angie, for that. Really appreciate that. I
Mm,
can see there is no questions that have come up. Uh,
mhm.
I guess it was crystal clear then. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Peter, for arranging this session. Went a little bit faster than expected, more efficient. I guess maybe it's because it's a Friday or weekend. We really do appreciate that. It's over 52,000 people in that group. And what is important as hoteliers in this industry, as much as it's a big industry in Kenya and all over the world, it's still a small industry. Whatever happens, whatever you do goes around there. And there's a lot of insights that you've given us. So I really do thank you for that, Angie. And thank you for the rest of the hoteliers for joining us in this session. We do apologize for the postponement. We were supposed to have it last week, hence why we had to still postpone it by another week. I'm sure Peter will arrange more of these sessions and we'll be able to interact more often. This is being recorded and should be posted within the group in the next few hours or days whenever Peter has some time. So asanteni sana, and we will continue interacting on the group. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Cheers. Bye.